Unlike traditional museums filled with fine art and historical artifacts, the Museum of Everyday Writing showcases the written words of ordinary people, notes, diaries, social media posts, graffiti, and even shopping lists. These seemingly everyday pieces tell stories of everyday lives.
The Museum of Everyday Writing is an online archive that seeks to foreground, of course, everyday writing, which essentially refers to writing that is not necessarily valued or studied or emphasized otherwise in academic contexts, especially in the past. So expanding kind of the definition of writing to more than just rigid academic structures and more thinking about how does writing play a role in people's everyday lives.
The Museum of Everyday Writing, while led by administrators, is actually run by students through their internship program. They oversee the museum's social media, its archives, and the submissions turned in while documenting the exhibits.
Like the invisible, mundane pieces of writing that are very useful to us as writers, but maybe that just don't get that attention that academic writing does. And so that's kind of our mission, is to archive that work and to just show its usefulness in everyday contexts.
From Starbucks orders to notes taken in class, the museum highlights what most may call mundane, but showcasing the little things can even be valuable.
I was looking for ways to get involved more, and I was really interested in the idea of, first of all, a digital archive. I'm really interested in digital rhetorics and digital composing, and so the idea of a digital archive of different writings was really cool to me.
The archiving is handled by the interns and by the co-admins who run the museum. Anyone can submit something to be archived, but that doesn't mean that it is. It's not archived. It's not put onto the public-facing site until one of us does that.
The museum highlights different forms of writing that often go overlooked. In curating these different digital archives, we're able to appreciate the small in the everyday.
The museum's dedication to showcase even the most unfamiliar forms of writing is the driving force for those involved, pushing for more awareness for the unseen.
The internship itself would be the main thing, I guess, which is for English majors, for EWM majors, it ties into the internship requirement for that major.
I think that, again, it kind of just gets erased or not even thought about as real writing sometimes. Like when we do have these things, like even grocery lists, right, that they become really useful to us. We use them in practice and we use them in our everyday lives, but we don't really think about them. And I think that it's just really interesting to look back on things. We have things that are archived from far back, even the 20s, before the 1900s.
When you are walking down the street and you see a sticker on a pole or graffiti somewhere and you're like, that's really cool, maybe stop and look at it twice and think about it a little bit deeper, because that's starting to have that curiosity is, I think, the most important part of keeping everyday writing in the forefront of our minds.
The Museum of Everyday Writing continues to work in documenting the everyday lives of those who are willing to share it themselves. The next time you're out, or studying, or even reading, look at things with a fresh set of eyes and take a moment to appreciate the art before you. I'm Anayati Stomane, reporting.